So the, all right, so the first thing here is this is really a completing the square question.
Mhm.
And to do that, we really need to rearrange this equation. So I'm going to come down here and write the equation x squared. You put the x terms together, y squared
Mhm.
minus 6y, and then you add this 15 to the other side of the equation.
Would the X's and the Y's, would they be put into parentheses or no?
No, not yet, not yet. We're going to group them. Um, so
So,
the completing the square here, we did a bunch of this. You're coming down here.
oh, so that means I'm just gonna basically divide these by 2 almost, and, like, having
Yeah,
the square
yes,
there would get rid of
you
it.
cut it in half. That's exactly right. And then you got to figure out what goes kind of back in here. And then that also goes on the other side of the equation.
Y minus 3 squared.
And so the
So
number
then,
that goes in the box is the number that you square.
so would I, just say x squared plus 2x plus 1 and y
Yep.
squared minus 6y minus 9?
Well, because you're squaring the -3, it becomes +9,
Okay, yeah, that's true.
like that.
Plus 9 equals 15. And then where's I kind of remember this plus 1 part, but I don't necessarily remember.
So they have to match. Like if you add one on the left, you have
Oh,
to
if I
add
add
one
them
on the
to
right.
that side,
Yeah.
I have to add them to the. I kind
Yeah.
of remember that now, actually. So plus 1 and plus 9.
Yeah.
So then, um, the number then would become 35, and then am
25.
I going to square root the parentheses?
No. This is the equation of a circle. And um, you have to do it this way to see the features of the circle. So this
Uh-huh.
is, I mean, this was a hard thing to do at the end of the year. I mean, it's tough to do at the beginning, but it's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, like that.
So that's the formula.
Yeah.
So would that mean
So your center is h comma k.
oh right, yeah, center is H and K, radius is it's not X and Y.
It's the square root of 25, so it'd be 5 in that case.
Radius square root of 25 equals 5. And then so then if it's H and K, I guess it would be -1 and -3 for
Yeah.
the center.
Yeah.
And then okay, wait, so the domain and the range.
We'll
So
get
this is a
to that.
circle.
We'll get to that. The center and the radius are important because then you can go to the graph and graph
Just
that
plug
point. So
them down.
-1, 3, and then the radius is 5. So you go up, down, left, right, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4,
1,
5.
2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Make the circle around it. And then, so I'll have my circle. And then
So that helps you
having
with
the line
so the domain is you got to get the left, you got to go left to right.
left to right.
I'm sorry, that's I got that. And then the range is the top to the bottom.
So domain equals left to right. Domain equals left to
Bottom,
right.
sorry, bottom to the top.
Range equals bottom to top. So it's what happens if I were to write it as like right to left or top to bottom? Would that be wrong, or does it have to just be
Yeah, it has to be this way. Yeah.
okay? So
So
then I'm
go ahead
just
and give that
writing
a,
the coordinates.
yeah, go ahead and give that a try. Be right back with you.
All right. And then, okay, so I guess for range, I don't know why I did that one first. So would I write, so is it two sets of parentheses for range? Because there's two different coordinates? Like I'll have like four numbers technically. Hello?
All right, what did you come up with for domain and range?
So for domain, I had the coordinates -6 and +3 and +4 and +3. And then for range, I had the coordinates of -1 and -2 and -1 and +8.
Okay, but remember, it's just two numbers. It's like that. It's the bottom. When I said
Oh,
bottom, I
it
mean
is like
it's
the most like bottom. Okay,
bottom
wait.
y value.
So
So
I'm
the bottom
taking
y
just
value is
the
it's -2, and the top y value is
+8.
yeah, +8. Good.
Okay. So, okay, wait. So for the domain, left to right, I
So
would
when I say
take,
left to right, I mean it's the leftmost x value, and then it's the
uh,
rightmost x value, and then the bottom x value, and then the top value.
okay, I'm gonna write that down on my thing. So wrong.
Yeah, I apologize. I had to just step away real quick to tend to
No, all
something.
good.
So
I've been having Wi-Fi problems all week, so I didn't know if it was me or not. No worries. So then wrong. I'm just writing my note. So then for domain, I'm gonna write most left and right x coordinates. X coordinates. So then -6 and +3 is the answer. And then -2, +8, lowest 2.
sorry, and the one, I'm sorry, the domain is 4. This is not right. It should be 4 there.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, I was like, I'm not sure if my math
Yeah,
is right,
no,
but
I
it's on
didn't
here.
didn't look at the numbers quite right. So
Lowest to highest y chords. Okay, I remember that now. Thank you.
okay, the next problem is the same, except it's not as well. I don't want to say
Not as
that.
nicely put together.
Well, you just got to complete the square and then you'll see it. Do you want us to
So,
do the next one, or do you want?
honestly, I'll just move on to the next, like, probably problem number 3, which I think or I guess I'm not positive how the images show up on your screen, but it's question number 3, and it has triangles, and it says find each of the trig ratios, leave your answers as reduced fractions.
Yeah.
Just to get some variety going, just because I get some good notes from this.
Yeah, so this is a good problem for us to look at. So the thing that you have to do is find the other side here, which we'll just call that for the moment B. And if you remember, and I'm going to draw this a little bit different than maybe you've seen before, but it's A, B, and C, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So
Mhm.
that's 24 squared plus B squared equals 30 squared.
Um, just writing this down. A, B, C. So A squared plus B squared. Is A squared plus B squared equals C squared the Pythagorean theorem? (24) squared plus B squared equals. So then 24 times 24, 30 times 30.
This one does work out nicely when you solve for B, but we do have to get that value before we can do.
Yeah, right now I scored the numbers and I got 576 plus B squared equals 900, and I'm subtracting those numbers. 400. So I got B squared equals 424, and then if I square root 424,
Should be 324.
324. Let me look at my math. Yeah, right. Okay, that's just that
Okay, because it
that part's simple math. Yeah, so 324 square root of 324 is 18. So then
okay,
B equals 18.
good, good. Okay, now
And
this is great. You've got sine of Q, cosine of Q, tangent of Q. So Q is right over here. It's always good to kind of figure out like where are you? If you
Yeah,
recall, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, and it's opposite of where you're at. So
yeah. So if we're looking from the Q perspective, so then
18 is opposite, the hypotenuse is 30, and um, you do have to reduce this fraction.
that would be 3/5.
Yes.
And then, all right, I'm gonna go out on a limb. Cosine is ad, mm, adjacent over hypotenuse.
Yep. Adjacent
Oh,
over
it actually is.
hypotenuse.
All right, boom, I
20,
got it.
24 over 30. What does that reduce to?
24 over 30 would become 4/5.
Yeah.
And then I guess tangent would be adjacent over opposite.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. It's the other one. So the so Katoa, and
Opposite
so
over
it's opposite over adjacent, which is 18 over 24.
and then that would just be 3/4.
Yes.
All right. Um, so then find each of the trig ratios of your answers as reduced fractions. So then sketch ABC with angle C is the right angle if cosine B is 15 over 17.
Oh, sorry.
So is,
We're moving on here. Let me get the next one up.
yeah, all good. So B, like B isn't actually related to part A, it's just another question.
It's unrelated, yeah. And so you have to
Okay,
draw a new
cool.
triangle.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Question number 4 would be much better for that.
So they're telling you that C is the right angle. And then if you don't like where B is, you can move it in the other spot. But cosine of B, could you tell me where 15 and 17 go?
So if it's cosine, that would be adjacent and hypotenuse. So then the hypotenuse is always the longest one, correct?
Yeah, so you got little a, little b, little c. Which one is the 15? Which one is the 17?
So I guess C would be 17.
Yeah, c is 17.
And then that leads me to ask my question. So
So here you're at
what
B.
so
Which
I'm
one
at
is,
B. Oh
which
right,
one is
cosine B
adjacent?
equals okay, then adjacent is the one that's not opposite. So then it would just be A. So then A would be 15.
Okay, and then you can use the Pythagorean theorem again to find little b.
C equals 17, A equals 15, C, B. So then A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So then I'll just insert those numbers, I guess. So it would be
Yeah, 15
15
squared plus b
squared
squared
plus
equals 17 squared.
17 squared. 15 squared is 125, I believe.
Best to use a calculator.
Yeah.
We're having some issues there.
All right, yeah, let's see. 15 times 15. 225 plus b squared equals I'm pretty sure it's 149, but I'm just gonna use the calculator to be sure. 17 times 17, 289. All right, I was pretty off on that. Then b squared equals 289 minus 225. 64, square root of that, b equals 8. So
Yep.
the angle, so does that mean the angle is 8 degrees?
No, no, it means the side.
Oh, the side is okay. So then when it says leave your answers exact and approximate.
So remember, sine tangent, SOHCAHTOA, right? SOHCAHTOA. You're finding um the opposite over the hypotenuse.
Oh my gosh, I've been writing it in the wrong part of the page. All right, yeah, that's my bad. Let me just look at that part. Okay, so if it's going to be sine, then sine is opposite over hypotenuse.
Okay.
And
So, and
then
again,
that would,
you're imagining you're at B.
yeah, so opposite, um, we, I don't actually know what the opposite length is. Do we just solve for that? Would that be
What
8?
is opposite to B?
8.
Over, what is the hypotenuse?
The hypotenuse is 17.
Yes.
And then tangent is opposite over adjacent. And then the opposite, once again, is 8, and the adjacent is 15. And you cannot
Really?
reduce those any more than they currently are.
That's right.
All right. Yeah, I was looking at the question below that the whole time by accident. So that's what I was
Okay.
talking about.
That would definitely make,
Yeah, because I was like, I'm not really sure if we can have an exact and approximate on this type of problem.
okay, so do you want us to look at the one below it there then?
Yeah,
Or,
honestly, I think so because I've totally forgotten how to do
yeah,
the exact and approximate.
understood. Yeah, I mean, this is all covered again in your Algebra 2 trig class, but I'm not sure why they're making it part of the diagnostic, so. They want you just to find side n, and what they're trying to show you here is that there's both an exact and an approximate.
Uh-huh. I do have one question with this. So, oh, excuse me. So there's a 40-degree and a 90-degree angle.
The other one's
And then-
50, but it doesn't, you don't need that. I mean, it's fine that you want to do this, but
Like that's not necessary in this problem.
right. So like what is n relative to the 40? Is it the adjacent, opposite, or hypotenuse?
It is the opposite, and then
Yes, and then
25 is the adjacent.
a hypotenuse. It's across from the
Oh
90.
my gosh, I meant to say, I meant hypotenuse.
Okay,
So then,
so which of the three trig functions, sine, cosine, or tangent, uses opposite and hypotenuse?
opposite and hypotenuse is sine.
So the sine of 40 equals n over 25. So this time we have the angle, but we don't have the side. So we
Oh,
have,
wait, I kind of remember this now. Am I gonna
yeah,
divide? No, I'm
you,
gonna cross, like, multiply.
yeah, I mean, I would just multiply by 25.
Uh-huh. So then multiply both sides by 25 times 25 times 25. So then that just cancels out to be n, and then the other part is 25 sine 40, and then I have to type that into a calculator.
Yeah, so 25 sine 40 is the exact, and then make sure your mode is in degrees. That's important.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll get the approximate answer.
Let me start typing that in. So then just This is all just sine, so then that'd be 25 sine 40. And okay, so would I still write equals 0 along with that on the calculator? Or would I just leave it 25 sine 40?
Yeah, you type in 25 sine 40. I'm not sure what you meant by 0.
Or like, should I write equals 0, like the full? I mean, sorry, no, I don't know why I'm saying 0. No, my bad. I was thinking the end of just like 0. So
I would
that
round to
would be,
one decimal place.
yeah, so would that be 16.06?
Yeah, well, what, yeah, 16, without round to 16.07 or 16.1. Units are important to remember here because it's a length.
Oh. So then, oh, meters cubed.
It's just a length, just a length. Length is meters.
Just meters, 16.1 meters.
Yeah.
I get, oh, right, because I'm figuring out the distance, not the space within it. Like, squared is for distance, and then like the little 2 is distance, and then little 3 is like the volume within it.
Yeah, areas are squared. I mean, if you know, for review here, length is m, area is meters squared, and volume is meters cubed, like that.
All right.
So, okay, we should look at the other one here. I think that would be good to do. All right, oops, I'm sorry, that is the same one. Let me grab a snip of the other one. Thought I grabbed it. Now I got it. And here we go. So the you can always find the other side if you want. But sometimes you don't need it. So like again, kind of relative to this angle, what is 15 and what is 17? And your answers are adjacent,
And
opposite, or
hypotenuse.
hypotenuse. Yeah.
Yeah, so in this case, it would be adjacent and the hypotenuse, and I believe that that would have to be cosine.
Yes, the cosine of x, this time because we don't know x, is 15 over 17, like that.
Equals 15 over 17. So then I'm gonna multiply both sides by 17.
Nope, nope, your variable's in a different spot now. I mean, in the previous problem, your variable was here. The variable's in here. That's why this is, I mean, that's why they're only giving you one because they're different types of problems. You have to undo cosine.
So
And
would I divide both sides by cosine?
use the cosine inverse.
Cosine inverse. And does that mean when there's the -1 by it?
Yes. So the angle X is the cosine inverse of 15 over 17. Like that.
15 over 17. So then 15. Okay, so I'll have to type that one out.
So again, in terms of your like exact answer, it's this. And then your
so cosine -1, 15 over 17. Which would give me like 28.1 meters.
this is an angle, so it's in degrees.
Degrees.
Angles, yeah.
Cosine -1. Okay. You know, it's a lot easier relearning it now than just trying to straight up learn it a couple months ago. Um, so then that's basically the same thing for the problem below it as well for the ship.
That requires you to draw the triangle. I mean, that is always a challenge.
Tests your artistic abilities.
Well, it's mostly, yeah, we gotta make sure you get the right triangle here. So, why don't you try drawing it? Um, I mean, the hint here is that it's either this one, it doesn't really matter, or it's this one, it doesn't really matter. But why don't you try drawing it, and then I'll jump in and we can compare. Um,
Okay.
but it doesn't matter which one you pick. It's just whichever one you feel
I'll
like
do
is
the one on
more,
the right side.
you know.
So I know that I know the angle that I'm looking from and I know what the opposite is. And I'm trying to figure out how far is the ship from the shore.
Basically, I'm getting you to decide, like you can put the letters here.
Oh,
You can call it angle A, B, and C, little a, little b, little c. Like you're just trying to label what's given.
yeah. So I'm looking just from like the ship to the shore, not actually the top of the ship because or top of the lighthouse. So I would be using
So
opposite and adjacent.
the angle of elevation is this one up here, which isn't anything. It corresponds to I'm sorry, this is wrong. The angle of elevation is generally the one where you're looking up.
So would I be using a tangent in this problem?
I'm not, Zach, I'm trying to just get you to label the triangle. We can get to
Okay,
solving it. If you can't even draw the triangle, it doesn't matter, how well you solve it.
fine.
I mean,
Okay,
that's
so
the reality. It's like you don't have the right tool, doesn't, even if you have the right tool, but you don't know what you're doing, it doesn't help. So,
yeah.
um,
Okay. So C B A. Okay, so I've like labeled the triangle.
okay. Which
Now
one did you do? The one on the left or the one on the right?
I did the one on the right.
Okay. All right. So let me label the one on the right here. Um, all right. Tell me what you have. What do you know in this drawing?
So I know that little b is 35,
Good.
and I know that the elevation's 28 degrees.
Okay. And are you trying to find A or C?
Trying to find A.
You are trying to find A. Good. Okay. So relative to 28 degrees, what is A and what is B?
A would be the adjacent and B is the opposite, and then I would be using a
So yes, to answer
tangent.
your question, yes, tangent of 28 equals 35 over 8.
Tangent of 28 equals 35 over A. So then,
And then
um,
this one's the
multiply.
harder one to solve. You probably
Should I?
you
So
multiply by A because
by
you want to
A.
clear it out. Yeah.
So then A times 10, 28 equals 35. And then So then am I gonna just divide both sides by tangent of 28?
And so again, this is the exact, which doesn't mean much, but it is exact. And then the approximation you get from putting that in the calculator.
So 35 divided by 10, 28.
And you will want units for this one.
65.8.
Yes. What are the units of length? This is the length, the distance. If you go back to the problem.
And then the distance would be 65.8 meters from the ship to the shore.
Perfect. Really good.
Okay.
All right. Do you want us just to keep going in the with the transformation graphs?
Yeah, where it says like parent function and then transformation.
Sure. Sounds good. We did a bunch of these, and I think you do a bunch more of these in this class. The parent function here is y equals x squared, which is a quadratic. We talked about the idea that you might want to know the parent function for this. So the parent function is the U-shaped graph.
Oh, so that's the so okay, wait. So all of these would have that same set of numbers.
The second one is a cubic. The third one is a root function.
Oh, right. So the third one you said square root.
Yeah.
Okay, so then all right, I kind of remember this now. So the cubed one would be 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2.
Yeah.
And then would the square root one be like 0, 0, 1, 1, like 2, 8?
So we can, yeah, let me, so for the, you got it for the root function. You actually go out a bit more on these. You always try to go out,
Minus
there.
8 is
I'm sorry. This is the cube, not the root function. Sorry.
all good.
The root is, 0, 0, square root of 1 is 1, square root of 4 is 2, square root of 9 is 3. You could go to 16. It's kind of hard to go beyond
Uh,
that, but
okay. All right. Yeah. It's kind of funny. It's like everything is like coming back to me at once. All right. Yeah. So
yeah.
I guess just back to that first one, that would be 0,
The
0, 1, 1, minus 1, positive 1, 2, 4, minus 2, positive 4.
yeah.
So then I'll just straight up put those numbers in.
Yeah, you want to graph the parent function always just to remind yourself what it is. And then the transformation, there's actually, yeah, I guess they've got in room. There's 3 transformations in this that we can get to. Sorry for the
So I
screen.
guess the first one would be moves to the right by 4 units.
Yeah, and like you can eyeball it, you can just make a table. It depends on what your instructor wants. I don't really
Mhm.
know. But right 4 only affects the x values. So
Yeah.
you're adding 4 to all the x values. The y values are unchanged.
Yeah, so therefore it just moves over 4 units to the
Yeah.
right. And then oops, I'm
And then there's this negative, and then there's this 2.
and then And then, okay, so then moves to the right by 4 units. I also realize that it will reflect vertically
Yeah,
over
you
the
can say
x-axis.
you can say y-axis or x-axis, and that only affects the y values. They all get negated.
So then it just gets flipped upside down pretty much.
Yeah, and
And then for the final part, I'm going to, I guess,
the
I know I'm
two.
going to multiply all of them by 2, but I'm trying to
You have
remember.
vertical stretch of 2. It only affects the y values.
So that's a stretch, vertical stretch of 2.
Yeah,
So then all the y units get multiplied by 2. So then that would be just, moving, multiply the current ones by 2.
yeah.
Boom and
And
boom.
so sometimes it gets hard to plot the points because you run out of room, but you
Yeah, it'll get a
sort of
little
just
bit
do the best you can. Um,
better. Yeah, not too bad.
all right, we'll probably got to stop here, Zach. Go ahead and
Yeah, okay.
stop the recording here. But